You were like the modern defenseman now. It's kind of different. Smaller size, skilled, high-end defenseman. It wasn't of the norm, you know.
I'm like the old version of the new guy, you know. It's pretty impressive what some of these kids coming up are doing now. You look at, you know, Kale in Colorado, Hughes in Vancouver. These guys are, the way they skate and jump into play it's incredible, really.
When you were growing up playing and you had this body of your game, it's like, who did you watch? You're playing with a guy right now, Duncan Keith.
Yeah.
He was kind of like...
Oh, I love Duncan.
Yeah,
Dunks
right?
was
Is that a guy you watched? Is that a guy you kind of, at that time, that you were like, oh, man?
Oh, yeah. Dunks was like, he was one of my favorites. Even before him, I loved Scott Niedermayer.
Yeah.
I liked watching him play. He was, you know, maybe not super flashy, but he was always up in the play, making the right reads. But yeah, Dunks was a big one. I liked Mike Green, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we forget about him, don't we? Now, like power play QB stuff, and I can find this interesting. You have naked pictures of GMs, like Colorado, Toronto, like unbelievable, and then now here with like two of maybe the best players in the game.
Not maybe, I think. I think you could say they definitely are. No, it is interesting. I mean, when I first got to Colorado, when I got drafted there, you know, they had O'Reilly and Duchesne, but then Nate started to develop, and we drafted him, and obviously you see what he is now. But yeah, so him and Mikko, you know, they were on the flanks, and Gabe was probably, you know, one of the best net front guys I've ever seen. So we ended up having a pretty good little power play working there. And then Toronto, I mean, I got there and they already had the workings of it, you know, and they had, you know, Mitch and Austin, and obviously Morgan Riley was there too. I think he had like 72 points here before I got there. I mean, I signed in Edmonton for a reason too. It wasn't like I was surprised Connor and Leon were there when I got there, you know. Yeah, I know, you know, kind of what my strengths are at this point in my career, and, you know, you try to put yourself in positions where, you know, it works for you. Yeah,
so different personnel, different guys. You know, you look at Leon, Leon's got that big one knee down paddle one time.
Yeah.
You know, McKinnon, you know, he shoots it from the flanks.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think, like, Austin wasn't a big one-timer guy. Mitchie wasn't ripping it. Like, work your mind and adjusting and understanding these players, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's funny, like, even with, like, Nate didn't have a big one-timer when he started. We worked on that all the time because he wanted to add that part to his game, which he has now. Yeah. But Nate doesn't like to have any spin on the puck when you give it to him. He wants it coming just like flat. Yeah. So I always try to give him least amount of spin because he's a guy who'll let you know if it's spinning too much or whatever. And then, you know, Leon now, he loves putting spin on the puck. So there's just like little things that guys like, and then, you know, you've got, like you mentioned, like Marnes isn't taking a one-timer. I think Austin's gotten his one-timers better now. He's starting to hammer it. But those are guys, you know, you want to hit them coming down. You want to put it ahead of them so they get it with speed and they can make their play or whatever. And kind of like with Connor, you know, he's always coming downhill.
He's attacking.
Yeah, so you gotta make sure the puck's out ahead of him.
How do you handle playing with the best players in the game? You know, when the pressure's on for you to, you know,
guy. It's funny because I'm like a super positive guy. I always, you know, if someone tries to make a pass, it doesn't work, I say, hey, nice try. Like, you know, but some guys take a different approach, and I've played with a few of them, and, you know, they're so good, and they're playing the game at a certain level, and you want to make sure that you're keeping up and trying to play at their level too. And it is funny though, like, you know, Nate and Leon, they're similar. They'll let you know if you're not making a good pass or whatever. So I actually enjoy getting into it with them on the ice, giving it back to them. Like, and it's all, I mean, we're best friends at the end of the day, so it's all, we have a laugh after. But it is different seeing the personalities of all these great players. You know, like Austin was so like, he was more like me, like, oh, hey, good try. Whereas Leon's like, hey, give me that puck. You know, it's funny. But obviously it all works for them in different ways.
Yeah.
And, they're all finding ways to keep pushing and getting better, which is pretty incredible.
You're like the guy, you know? You're the guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're fun, you got this personality, like you said. You're like, oh, nice try, guys.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get them.
Yeah.
We talk to, you know, guys on your team, and they always bring your name up. Who's the one guy? Who's when it's tough? Who do you want to be at? Who do you want to be with? Who do you want to go to dinner with? Or when it's like, you know, you want this guy around, and you're the guy they say all the time. Imagine.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear.
Pretty
yeah,
good,
that's
right?
great.
Like, how important do you think in the dynamics of your dressing room or whatever, like a personality, like brag about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I'm the most important guy in the room. Yeah. Is that what you want me to say?
Yeah, well, no, it's like, you got to have certain personalities, right? And
yeah.
You know, yours is, I think, valuable in a situation where you've got marquee stars.
Yeah.
You know, that I think they enjoy that.
Yeah, I think it's nice to keep everything loose and have fun. And there's certainly times where I'm probably not great or being as serious as I should be, you know, and then, you know, that's when other guys step in and fill that role. But I'm definitely like, you know, I like to just kind of see the big picture, and, you know, we get to play in the NHL and hang out with your best buddies every day. So it's nice to come to the rink and make each other laugh and have some fun with it. You know, we're doing a lot of serious stuff and playing a game that can be, you know, tough a lot of times. So it's nice to just actually enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I try to do.
What a guy, eh? What a social butterfly.
I like to be social, no doubt.
Barrie shoots, he scores!
Memorabilia. Memorabilia, you know, hockey family background.
Yeah.
Like, do you collect any of that?
I haven't done a ton of it. I got a bunch of stuff through my dad when I was younger. I got to meet Wayne, and I'm more of like the middleman. People just ask me to get stuff from these guys, so I do it.
Any other cross sports though? Like, you know, like, I know what Connor has, like an Aaron Rodgers, or you have like any other athletes?
Yeah, so I'm more of like, I love music, so I'm like a huge Eddie Vedder fan. I'd probably be more into like that kind of memorabilia, but I actually haven't got anything signed by Eddie, because I hope to one day maybe meet him, and I'd like to get it signed in person, so I'm holding off on buying something.
Well, I'll get your memorabilia collection started. That is a OPG collector's edition.
Can you sign this for my son?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you and Sid and Connor and Wayne.
Yeah.
Great, you know?
All the greats.
Let's check these stats.
You know, a pretty consistent start there.
Yeah, you're just a 40 guy.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's hanging around the 40s.
Yeah.
No big deal.
That'd get you paid nowadays.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Must have been a good guy. You got the A on there too. I don't even know if this is gonna leave the room here. This might stay behind.
You have like a van and you rip around in your van? Is this the thing
I do. I have a Volkswagen,
Like a
76 Westphalia. It's green. We call it the Pickle. It's great for being on the island in Victoria, because you can just kind of, you know, you can take day trips over to Salt Spring, or, you know, there's tons of little islands and the ferries kind of run them. So it's fun to load up a cooler and go for the day and just kind of have a nice little picnic. Find a beach where nobody's at. It's that's definitely a hobby. It's zero buyer's remorse. It's my favorite purchase. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so fun. It's just like, it doesn't get over 80 kilometers and you just cruise, and you know, it's slow going, and everybody knows it. When you're in the Pickle, everybody, you know, you just give the peace signs, and there's no it's great. It's a good way to slow down life and you know, kind of enjoy it. Put on a nice 70s playlist and cruise.
There he is, Tyson Barrie.
Hey, thanks for
buddy.
having me.
Have a
That's
great run.
Yeah,
Have a good
appreciate
run,
it.
man. Love
Thanks,
watching it.
guys.